Hello, welcome to this week's Ramble. I'm your host, Bridget Murphy. I'm here with Mike Niche and Taylor Utzig. In the last few days before the big game this weekend, there's been a lot of rumors swirling about retirements, most notably Peyton Manning and Calvin Johnson. In a long string of miseries facing Motor City's football team, Megatron has announced he would potentially be not returning this coming fall. So my question this week is that a good idea? He's announced that he's been having a lot of wear and tear over the last 9 seasons, and because of his health and his body, he is talking about not coming back to the team. Taylor, do you think that's a smart move?
Well, it's exactly what you said. I mean, he is his own person. He knows his body. If he says that there's a lot of wear and tear, then I think he has every right to retire. Actually, if you look back at his games, he's only ever sat out 5 games in his entire 9 seasons. And those 5 games were in the last 2 years. So I think it's definitely proven that he is facing more wear and tear. Wide receivers after their 30s are known. Their stats either plateau or decline. Yes, he's had a great career so far, but maybe he's just understanding that this is the end for him and he wants to go out on a high. So I think if he needs to retire, he knows what's best for him, and it seems his teammates also agree.
Can I make a point on that?
Sure.
I'd like to say that in Jerry Rice's career, the famed receiver who played for the San Francisco 49ers and won a Super Bowl with them after he turned 30, scored more touchdowns in his 30s and beyond than he did in the years preceding his 30s.
Yes, but in the wake of these new studies coming out with the effects of long careers on football players, specifically head trauma and other injuries, do you think it's a smart move to get out of the game while he's still fully functioning?
I think that health is a huge issue. I played football and it does take a toll on you. Obviously, I'm not playing in the NFL, so it's tough for me to say. But maybe a year off would be a better choice. But as he is under contract right now, and he is under contract until 2020, it's kind of a weak move to give up on your contract. He wants to be a role model, and role models don't give up on contracts. He promises time. He made the Detroit Lions pay a lot of money for him, and to give up on that is not something that I think that he really embodies as a person, because he's a genuine person and he's a great guy. And I think maybe a year off would be a better option for him.
I would like to also mention, though, how Barry Sanders also retired after about 10 seasons with the Detroit Lions, and he was about 30, 31. It's not uncommon for at least a Detroit Lion wide receiver to retire at this point. One could even look at the Lions are a losing team. Calvin Johnson, he's put up some really great stats, and he's continually been on a losing team with losing numbers. That has to take a toll on your spirit as well.
Well, Barry Sanders was a running back. That's a different thing. And I think that if Calvin Johnson is going to continue his career, maybe the best thing for him to do is continue it in Atlanta, in Georgia, 30 minutes from his home,
but then
near
wouldn't that
his
also
family.
be making the contract he has with Detroit null as well?
No, because you can trade people. That's how it works. The Atlanta Falcons can trade Julio Jones. He's under a large contract right now, and they can trade him to the Lions. They have cap space, and they can move people around and do certain things that can, help Calvin Johnson continue his career. Calvin Johnson turned down Notre Dame. He turned down USC. He turned down Michigan. He turned down Oklahoma. He turned down all these teams when he was in high school because he wanted to stay in Georgia. And I think that right now, he's homesick. He admitted in 2008 he was definitely homesick when he got to Detroit. Not only were they a poor team, but he wasn't enjoying himself.
So then
and
why
I
would
think
he
that right now he's not enjoying himself again because the past 2 seasons he hasn't played very well.
So then why would he commit those 9 seasons?
I think that if he's going to continue, well, that's the point. Why would you sign a contract if 4 years after you sign that contract, you're going to say, oh, sorry, I didn't mean that. I'm sorry that you guys pledged all of this time and all of this money to my career when I'm having second thoughts.
Let's get back to the point, though, about his specific retirement this year. Is it a good idea, business-wise, personal-wise? Closing comments.
Well, business-wise, no, because he's giving up on approximately $60 million. Again, business-wise, no, it's going to hurt his reputation.
But what about him as a person?
As a person, definitely not. There's that ethical issue of signing a contract, putting your name to something, and then backing out. People don't respect that. His young son, who he is trying to set a great example for now, is not going to respect that.
I completely disagree. I think taking the personal choice to understand your own body and to understand when you yourself are not in it anymore, I think that's a courageous choice for him to take to take a look at his career and say, this is something that I need to step away from, whether it be a year, whether it be full retirement. That is his own choice, and to make that choice is a courageous move. Yes, business-wise, he's giving up a lot of money. I mean, that in itself is difficult, but he's not doing it for the money. He's doing it for a personal choice. This is something he has talked with about his family. There's been former teammates who have come out and said, yes, he told me at the beginning of the season, we kept it confidential. It's not something he takes lightly, and I think he's really evaluated this season, and going forward, I think he's going to continue evaluating and making sure it's the right choice for him.
I'm going to go with Taylor on this one because personal health is something that you have to take care of. And if we're talking about being a role model for your son, you can't be a role model if you're not even around or if you're brain dead by the time you're 30 because you took a bad hit, because you decided to play an extra year. He's already rich. He doesn't need the money business-wise. He can do whatever he wants. So I'm going to go with Taylor because you got to stay healthy. You got to stay alive and functioning if you want to do all those things that you said. Thank you. This is this week's Ramble. Back to you at the desk.
Well, Trisha, I think that a lot of Bears fans will be hoping Calvin Johnson retires. I'm personally sick of him tearing it up and pretty much being the reasons the Bears lose. I don't know about you. That's how I feel.
I agree. I agree with you.
Well, want to join the conversation? Follow and like our social media handles below.